2010 Ford Escape alternator replacement. So to get this belt off is really easy. You can see the tensioner here. So basically I'm using a regular 1/2-inch drive ratchet. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in there, and now I can put a clockwise turn on it like this, and you can see the belt is starting to loosen up. So that's very easy to get this belt off. So that's the first step you gotta do. You are going to have to remove the alternator, the AC compressor, but you do not have to disconnect it. I have this one disconnected because I'm also replacing this one. You can see this is a brand new one, but these lines are so flexible. You can see I'm setting it up here on top of this, but these lines are so flexible that once you remove the alternator, the 3 bolts from the compressor, that you can just swing the compressor all the way out of the way while it's still connected to the lines, so you won't lose any refrigerant. It's only 3 bolts for the AC compressor here, and you can see here, this is what the alternator, the bottom bolts on the alternator look like. So it sticks out like this, and you have the nut that goes over it to hold it on. So you have to remove the nut first, and then get that socket on here and get that bolt out, and then you can drop the alternator down once the top bolt is also out. So basically this is what your new alternator should look like, and of course what your old alternator looks like. So this is where the bolt holes are. You have 3. There is 1 on top. The easiest way to get to that is from up top, and then the 2 on the bottom, the easiest way to get to those is from the bottom. And so these are the bolts here. So the 2 bottom bolts look like this. So these screw into the engine block, and then this sits on top of these studs. You have to get these studs out before you take the alternator out. So in order to get that out, I used a 8mm inverted Torx socket to get this off. You can see the ends of it there. You're gonna have to use, you can also use a 1/4 inch. So you have to get those out of the block, then you remove it all together. The top bolt, I had to leave it in because you won't be able to get it all the way out because of the radiator. So once you get it loose, you have to leave it in there loose like that. And there's these 2 nuts that hold the alternator on at the bottom. So you have to take these 2 nuts off, and then it's going to be sitting on these 2 studs like this. And so you get your Torx bit, your reverse Torx bit, and you get these 2 studs loose, and then you can drop the whole alternator down once those 2 studs are loose. And putting it back in is going to be the same thing as reverse. You're going to put these studs in here and this one, and put it up there all together. Start threading these in first, then you want to go up top and thread this one in. Then after you get them in loosely, you can start to torque them down in rotation. As far as these plugs, I removed these plugs afterwards, after I took these bolts out and I had the alternator pretty much hanging. I was able to access the hot wire and the harness for this plug here easily. So putting it back together is going to be the same way. You're gonna want to put these plugs back on first, then start to get these bolted back up. And that was the easiest way I got the alternator out. So the main thing that you need to know for this job is, of course, the AC compressor. As I said, just remove these 3 bolts. Do not remove or detach the lines. I detached that for my own reason. So you can leave those attached and just swing that compressor out of your way, and then you can reach the alternator, the 2 bottom bolts, easily and then you can go on top to reach that top bolt. This alternator is a 3-pin harness, and you can see your keyways from here. And don't forget to remove the battery cable, the negative battery terminal, before you start this alternator job. Getting this belt back on is actually pretty easy. Here comes your tensioner here. So it's a 1/2-inch drive. I'm just gonna use a basic ratchet. I'm gonna get this in here, and just like that. And I'm gonna go clockwise. I'm gonna need 2 hands to do this, so I can just explain it for now. I'm gonna go clockwise with my left hand, and I can get this belt and pull it down onto this compressor here. So just like that, the belt is on.